Good evening. I would like to call this meeting of your Westland City Council to order. We will begin tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Andrea Rakowski.
Thank you, Council President. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rakowski, for leading us in the pledge. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Bauman.
Present.
Councilwoman Martin. Present. Councilwoman Rakowski. Present. Councilwoman Samby. Present. Councilman Sullivan. Here. Pro Tem Maxwell. Present. President McDermott.
Here.
Quorum is present.
All right. We will now begin tonight's meeting with a special announcement and presentation. We are going to be hearing from Mr. Fisher at the Inspire Theater.
Hi, my name is Len.
Hello, Len.
Oh, that was really nice. Thank you. And thank you, City Council and city officials for this opportunity to brief you on what's happening at Inspire Theater. For those of you who don't know me, as Council President McDermott said, I'm the Managing Director at Inspire Theater, the community theater here in Westland. And we are deep into our 21st season and in the middle of our third production of the season. It's a comedy about a dysfunctional Southern family who tries to bury their father with dignity. So I've got a question right here, and you know what the question is, okay? Because Councilwoman Bauman and Councilman Sullivan saw the show, Okay, so they've already been briefed. How many of you folks are from dysfunctional families? No one's admitting it.
I was in the military, so.
Okay, there you go. And then I asked everyone in the audience, how many are the dysfunction in your family? Okay. So that's what the show is about. It's about 2 hours as well, and I would invite you to it, but we have no more tickets. It's totally, the whole run is totally sold out. So now, if you've had a longer wait at restaurants these past 2 weekends, we are so sorry. It's totally our fault. We bring about 1,000 people into the city every time we do a show, and so they flood the restaurants, and they also flood the economy, hopefully, of Westland. We are about improving the economy of Westland because we support Westland businesses because they support us. And we say that at every single show. We're the community theater. We believe in community. Community is a huge part of our program, a part of our existence. We like to bring people in and make them feel like they're in the community. We like to reach out to the community, and we like to give back to the community. Our next show is called No Stone Unturned. It is a comedy. It is about a 1940s detective and his bumbling sidekick who has a twin sister. And he has a girlfriend, and he has a ditzy secretary, and there's a starlet that asks him to find her sister who's missing, and that's the case he takes on. And there's a loudmouth newsboy as well, and a lot of other people. So that opens June 12th, and I invite you to check our website and check Facebook to see when the tickets go on sale. Actually, they'll go on sale April 6th. So, but if you're interested in that kind of thing, buy your tickets early. They always sell out. We tried doing rotten shows, and we decided to do better ones, and they sell out. So, these things are humor. You can laugh. Okay. Those auditions for that show are March 30th and April 1st. So if you know somebody that's into theater, you should get them to our show. Get them to the theater on March 30th and April 1st. I always like to make the council aware of the needs at Inspire Theater. We're looking, and maybe you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that could help us out. We're looking for more storage space. We have run out of space. We desperately need it. We've got costumes in dressing rooms and furniture stuffed everywhere, and props. We're looking for a company that might give us a deal on an electric sign out front. So, you know, moving into the 21st century. We need parking lot repairs, so if you know a company that just wants to be benevolent to a nonprofit, we would take them. And we have some roofing issues. For some reason, the rain has decided to not stay outside all the time. So we'd like to find somebody to fix that. So great things are happening at Inspire. We've had a phenomenal season. We've had phenomenal cast. Ask anybody who's been there. They're blowing the doors off as far as talent, and they're just having fun, and the audience therefore is having fun. So I invite you to like us on Facebook, get in contact with us, and we'll put you on our email. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. All right, we will now move on to citizen input on the agenda from the public. This section will allow members of the public at the beginning of the meeting to address the council regarding items that are on tonight's business agenda. Questions asked may be responded to during the agenda item following a motion in support from your city council. I do see we have a few new faces in the audience tonight, so this is the comment for just items that are on the agenda. We will have a separate public comment time where you can talk about anything you like at the end of the meeting. You will have 3 minutes during this time to talk about agenda items, and then 3 minutes at the end of the meeting to talk about whatever you like. Comments on the agenda, is there anyone on my left? Anyone on my right? Anyone else? Mr. Warren?
New business, item 3. So, how much more do I have to pay for my water bill? That's my question.
We'll give you an
I
answer.
know
on
you're
that,
going to drop it
unfortunately.
though, right?
Unfortunately, more, and we will give you an answer on that and get an explanation when we get to that item.
Okay, I need to know.
Anyone on my right? Anyone on my left? Okay, seeing and hearing no one else, we will close comments on the agenda and move on to the consent calendar. Is there a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Martin, supported by Councilwoman Sampe. Are there any changes to the consent calendar? Any changes to the consent calendar? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
Council has approved the following consent calendar items: minutes of regular meeting held March 2nd, 2026, the bid for Escott Cronk boxing gym floor replacement. The administration recommended the low bidder, Direct Fitness Solutions LLC. Aerial imagery service subscription renewal with Nearmap US Inc. for the Department of Innovation and Technology for a one-year, subscription is for a one-year period. Adoption of prepared land division resolution at 27985 Hanover, that's north of Van Born, corner of Admiral. Land division was approved by City Council on January 20th, 2026. Adoption of prepared land division resolution at 5651 South Middlebelt, Balua Baptist Church, north of Van Born Road, east of Middlebelt Road. This land division was approved by City Council on January 20th, 2026. Moving to payment of voucher.
Is there a motion? Is there support? Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Councilman Sullivan. Is there any discussion from the maker? Any discussion from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business item number 1, set public hearing date for proposed brownfield plan for Marshall Middle School redevelopment. The suggested public hearing date is April 20th, 2026.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Baumann. Is there support? Support. Supported by Councilwoman Martin. Is there any discussion from the maker? No. Any discussion from the supporter?
No.
Any discussion from the council? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business item number 2, set public hearing date for the 2026-27 Community Development Block Grant at CDBG/Home Annual Plan. Suggested public hearing date is April 20th, 2026.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski. Is there support? Support. Supported by Councilman Sullivan. Director Campbell, did you have anything that you wanted to add? No? Okay. Any discussion from the maker?
No, thank you.
Any discussion from the supporter? No. Any other discussion from the council?
April 20th is going to be a busy day.
Going to be a busy day? Yeah. Any other discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business, item number 3, adoption of ordinance 29-W-46-1, an ordinance to amend chapter 46, section 46-1 and 46-148 and 46-149D of the Westland City Code to amend the rates for the municipal water and sewer and industrial waste control charges.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Martin, supported by Councilman Sullivan. Is there any discussion from the maker?
No.
Any discussion from the supporter?
Yeah, I just, this is obviously the water rate increase that has been coming. I just wanted to, obviously, nobody wants to pay more for their water. I don't want to pay more for my water. But we were passed on a 5.6% increase from the Great Lakes Water Authority to the city. So I just want the residents to be aware that we don't want to increase our water rates. The city has to pay more for water that we purchase from the Great Lakes Water Authority. They've increased the rate 5.6% for this year. The administration, I think, has done a great job on working on this to get the average homeowner increase is only going to be about 3.3%. The first 5,000 gallons, there will be no increase. So most seniors, single resident homes for water, there will be no increase in your rate on the first 5,000 gallons. And answer Mr. Warren's question, the average bill increase will be, from the projections that I've seen, about $4 per bill. So if your current average bill is about $130, it goes to about $134.
What's that, Councilman?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion from the council? Yes, Councilwoman Sampe.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman Sullivan, for clarifying that. I appreciate that. So it would be like $4 a year, just to clarify. So it goes up by $4 each year. So I think by the end of, from what we looked at it, it's like from start to finish of the next 3 years, it'd be like $14 or $13, from what I saw. Per bill, yes.
Every other month.
Yes, every other month, yeah. So it will be a year-over-year
Yeah.
increase.
Annually of about $16 is
Yes.
what you're saying.
Correct,
Got it. Yep.
yes, yes. So I just wanted to clarify, just so people knew.
Thank you, Councilwoman, appreciate that. Any other discussion from the council? Yes, Councilwoman Baumann.
Through the chair, I just wasn't sure if Director Adams wanted to speak on any of this at all. I just want to give him the opportunity because, just if there's any clarifications that need to happen at all.
Did the administration have anything they wanted to add?
The only thing I want to do is answer Mr. Warren's question, which Councilman Sullivan did. I can kind of go through A to Z to kind of paint the picture of how we got to this point, but I think Councilman Sullivan did a good job of covering most of it. I'll just note that this was supposed to be on the March 2nd council agenda, but we did receive new information from Great Lakes Water Authority, which caused the administration to actually postpone the adoption until tonight. So the good news from Great Lakes Water Authority is that they originally reduced the increase to the city from 6.7% back down to 5.6%. So with that, we took that new information, adjusted the rates that you see on tonight's agenda, and then put it back on the agenda with that amended information that we got real time. So just kind of wanted to explain why it was postponed about 2 weeks, but other than that, nothing further to add. Thank you.
Okay. All set, Councilwoman. So I will add to a couple of things. Number one was explained by Councilman Sullivan. Thank you, Councilman, for doing that. None of us up here want to raise anybody's water rates. We get these costs passed on from Great Lakes Water Authority. And I was at the meeting virtually when Great Lakes Water Authority originally was trying to pass an 8% water increase. And then they reduced it down. And then, as Director Adams mentioned, reduced it down again. So, it's important for us to stay vigilant, to be a part of these meetings, to be a part of this conversation with Great Lakes Water Authority when they do these kinds of things. They experienced, like all of us as Americans, inflation over the last 5 years, and unfortunately, they're passing a lot of their costs, their inflationary costs, on down to us. Historically, Great Lakes Water Authority has tried to do around a 4 to 5% increase. They were trying, obviously, for a much higher rate increase than what they ultimately ended up settling with, because I think there was a lot of outcry from the public, from other communities, from local governments like Westland and otherwise, to keep it more in line with their historical averages in terms of increases go. Because, it's not fair to all of us who, in every other facet in our life, whether we're going to the grocery store, whether we're paying our bill from DTE or Consumers Energy, we're experiencing inflation and rate increases and an affordability crisis there. So for Great Lakes Water Authority to go almost double what they were normally doing for their historical averages was outrageous. I also want to thank each of my colleagues on the council. We had a study session on this several weeks back, and they asked a number of good questions and really worked hard to turn over every stone in terms of, can we keep water rates, as low as possible? Because ultimately, we don't set the water rates. We get those costs from the Great Lakes Water Authority. And we looked at a number of different avenues in terms of the way the water rates are structured and, how they would be billed. So I want to thank each one of my colleagues for the great discussion that we had on that. And then my colleague, Councilwoman Rakowski, actually brought up the point of a number of cities entered into litigation several years back with the city of Highland Park, because Highland Park was delinquent in paying up on their water bills for the Great Lakes Water Authority. They were not assessing residents water billing at all. And so there was a number of years where all of us as communities, Westland and all across Metro Detroit, were paying into the Great Lakes Water Authority. And so we were paying our bills on time, but the city of Highland Park was not. And residents who were delinquent in that community, well, I believe that water is a human right and is something that we should all be able to afford, and really in a perfect world would be all granted. The city of Highland Park was not keeping up their end, and other communities in Metro Detroit had to make up on that. And my colleague had, made mention of that and tried to get answers on that. And so I want to thank her and the city attorney for providing us with feedback on the Highland Park situation, because there was some litigation between other cities against Highland Park and Great Lakes Water Authority on that. But again, none of us want to sit up here and arbitrarily and capriciously just raise your all water rates. We are all residents too. We feel it in our pocketbook when water rates go up. But I am at least somewhat happy to say that Great Lakes Water Authority did give into the political pressure and the outcry and the backlash from communities and from residents like yourself who showed up to these meetings. And, speaking out in your government can make a difference. And this is one example where I think that does make a difference. Is there any other discussion from the council? Any dissent? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Bauman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Samby.
No.
Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Pro Tem Maxwell.
Yes.
President McDermott.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. We are now going to move on to the public comment section of the agenda. This is where you'll have the opportunity to have your 3 minutes to speak on any issue you'd like. Everyone speaking before the council should do so in a civil manner. Speakers should refrain from abusive or profane remarks, vulgar language, disruptive outbursts, threats, racial slurs, or other conduct that interferes with the orderly conduct of the business meeting. Personal attacks on council members, the administration, city staff, or other speakers or members of the public do not promote civil discourse. Comments shall be directed to the chair and not to people in the audience. The chair shall call to order any person who is being disorderly by speaking when not having been recognized by the chair or is being disruptive to the proceedings. If any person, after being called to order, continues to be disorderly, creating a public 13 disturbance, the chair may order that person be removed from the meeting immediately. Is there anyone on my left? Yes, Ms. Dale.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to first start by thanking Sharon Sullivan. Sharon, knowing that I do not have Facebook, contacted me about this past Saturday's meeting being canceled. I would have been here at 10 o'clock, so I appreciate it. Thanks again, Sharon. And on another note, I'd like to wish a belated happy birthday to Mr. Arthur Warren.
Every week now, it's going to be birthday wishes for Art. Every week. Is there anyone on my right? Yes. Yeah. Anything you'd like, Ms. Thomas?
Good evening, council. You know what? I agree with Christina. She made a great speech, and that's why I clapped my hand, I applauded, because I wanted her to know that I agree. I agree that some of our funds for the Norwayne community throughout the years have obviously been used towards other things, because if it was used for us, our Norwayne community, our area wouldn't be so deplorable. It's bad, it's in bad shape, and it's going to take a while, and I'm not saying that anything hasn't changed. It is getting better, but it's because of us coming and talking to the council and talking to the mayor and getting involved and asking for help with getting our community back in shape. And it seems like now, because we all know that now our Norwayne is a historic area. It should be treated like a historic area. We shouldn't have to go around our community and take pictures of things and our wires hanging down, and they still are in a lot of areas. But I see, and like I say, I have to say this, other areas, their areas are being completed in a much greater and better way than the treatment that we're getting here in the Norwayne area. And like I said, it is getting better. I appreciate everyone that is part of the system that is helping us, because that's what we do, is we vote. We put our faith in the person that we're voting for, that's going to, with hope that and belief that that person is going to do what's best for us and the community, our children, seniors like myself with deficiencies, and that have to, really depend on other people. We vote so that with our beliefs that that's going to be what our person that we're voting for is going to do for us. All I'm asking is that continue to do what you're doing, and just be thoughtful of our community, and look around what you have, and then go to Jefferson Barnes, go around that area, see what I'm talking about, and then you'll know our concerns and why we're fighting so hard to get some things done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. And is there anyone on my left? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. My name is Matthew Mulholland. I'm actually a Wayne resident, but I came to talk to you today about the Rouge River and a section of it that's in the city of Westland. A few weeks ago, a friend and I took a trip down the Rouge River. It was one of those days that started out a really nice day and ended up snowing by the end. But I wanted to give you just a very brief recap of what we saw on the trip, and then possibly ask for some help with an issue that I saw. First off, on the good parts of it, it was an awesome day. The river was clean and low, was clear and low, and there was only a few log jams that we encountered. We started out in the middle of Wayne, and we ended up at your launch there, the new launch at Merriman, that is an awesome launch that you guys put in. We saw tons of wildlife along the way. Deer, hawks, muskrats. I've seen mink in the past on the river. And for the first time in my 60 years of being involved with the Rouge River, I saw a beaver with my own eyes, which is a great sign. The bad sign is beavers are super destructive. They're called nature's engineers. They will ring trees, and those trees will die, and they're either going to fall out of the river or in the river. I did notice you guys have been doing some work, some logjam work at the Merriman Road launch, but there's going to be more to come with this beaver activity down there. What I want to talk to you about tonight is we saw several homeless camps, some occupied and some unoccupied. And these camps have a very predictable cycle. They're occupied, they're filled with garbage, then they're abandoned, and that garbage a lot of time ends up in the Rouge River. And that's what I want to offer my help with. I know there's a lot of logistics involved in these. They're hard to get to. You have to know where they are. I'm not insensitive to the plight of the homeless. It's usually a mental health situation that's brought people there. They don't want to be camping in the woods, but when they abandon these camps, they have to be dealt with. I've got 20 years of extensive experience dealing with Friends of the Rouge River cleanups, woody debris management, and what I want to do is offer my help if there's a mutual desire to address this problem. I'm convinced that there's a correlation between this kind of garbage and how much your river and your parks get used. And what I wanted to say, I don't want to tell you where the exact location of this place is. It's abandoned. There's not at yours. There's other ones I'm dealing with that are occupied. Yours is abandoned. But for some reason, people find these camps and they think that that stuff should end up in the river. It's so much easier to clean it when it's on the bank than when it's in the river. So if you have a DPW department that's willing to help with it, I'd be happy to contact them and let them know exactly where it is. Or if you don't, we could maybe make a deal and I could get a group of volunteers that would help clean it up. We would just need help then removing the garbage. We don't have a place to store the garbage, and I'm gonna guess that it's probably got several bags to a truckload of garbage. And with that, I'll close in saying Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you.
And Mr. Mulholland, if you wanted to stay after, we can grab your information, maybe pass it along to the administration. So when the mayor returns, maybe we can reach out to you and see what we can do.
Awesome. The sooner the better out of these camps because they'll end up in the river.
Yeah,
Thanks, sir.
absolutely. Is there anyone on my right? Yes, ma'am. Looks like we got our garden crew here today.
All right. Hello, my name's Joanne Schwab, and I'm the founder of 3B's Native Plant Garden. Good evening, all you people up in the big chairs.
Evening.
We have a Community Appreciation Day, Saturday, June 20th, from 11 to 2, and you're all invited. Detroit Bird Alliance is going to be talking. It'll be a lot of fun. It's the event of the year, I'm sure of it. And there's going to be refreshments, garden tour. We have a children's sensory garden that is pretty nice. Got some raised beds and stuff. So yeah, why don't you come on and enjoy yourself? That's all.
All right.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone on my left? Yes, sir.
Good evening, City Council. I just want to tell you, I appreciate you all for all the work that you do. I'm Pastor Jim from Westland Christian Union Church. There's a lot of things going on at the church. I don't know whether you've noticed, but we've started up the prayer table again. We have been at the prayer table every Sunday for people that want prayer. We enjoy praying with people. If people that you know need prayer, don't hesitate to have them come. We love to pray with people. There are things that are transpiring and going on. March 25th, we're having a video passion talk by Lonnie Giglio at the church. We're also going to go to Winter Jam. I love Winter Jam, okay? I go to Winter Jam. I take people with me. So I love Winter Jam. Come on out to Winter Jam. It is a fun time. April 4th, the church will be having an Easter egg hunt at John Glenn High School, ages 12 and under, starting at 1 o'clock. Last year, we had over 600 eggs that we did. We're probably going to have a lot more eggs. If you know kids that want to come out and have a good time, come on. Bring them on. We do have a lot of fun. April 18th, Saturday, we will be having a church flea market sale in the basement of the church. Now, this church flea market is to help our church. We've got some things that we want to do at our church, so it's to help us kind of get some things done and some things started. During this time of the year, I want to tell you that my mind goes to the cross. And I don't know about you, but I know this, that the life is in the blood. Without blood, there is no life. Plain and simple, that's just the way it is. And I want to tell you that because of Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, he shed his blood so that we might have life and we might have it more abundantly. I don't know about you, but I thank God Almighty that he went to the cross and that Jesus himself was willing to go. Come on out to the church. We love you guys. We want you to participate. Thank you very much. We are praying for you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone on my right? Yep, Mr. Jones.
Sorry, I haven't been here in a while. Haven't been health reasons, but real quick, the VFW on Wayne Road is having fish fries on Friday night from 4 to 7 up until Passover. So I was there at the meeting Sunday, so I figured I'd pass that out real quick. The big boy on Wayne Road. When are we gonna get that thing torn down? I've lived off of Wayne Road for about 9 years now, and if I'm not mistaken, it's been empty 9 years. It is such an eyesore. And from what I've been told, that everything inside is pretty much ruined, the roof, everything else, you know, and it just keeps sitting there like that. So that's one thing. Real quick, the other day I was driving down the road, it was raining out, and I saw City of Westland road trucks, and they're throwing cold patch into holes with water in it. Why are we doing that on raining days? I don't get it, you know. I've lived as a, you know, I've been driving for years. You know, they put it in there one day, it's gone the next because it's not done properly. You know, and the last thing is, how many people have gotten stuck behind a UPS truck or a FedEx truck or Amazon truck on the side of the road? Yes, they have their four-ways on, but last time I checked, that's not an emergency to stop on the side of the road. Take 2 or 3 minutes, walk up there, because the other day I was going down Warren Road, headed to my mom's house in Redford, and there was a van in front of me, all of a sudden swerved out of the way, and there was an Amazon truck right there. I had to slam on my brakes. Thank God there was nobody behind me. You know, I understand, everybody wants to get their packages and stuff like that, but that is not an emergency to sit on the side of the road. Pull into their driveways, you know. As a truck driver, I wasn't allowed to park on the side of the road to go take care of something. You know, if there was parking, I had to go park in that area. You know, I just hope nobody ever ends up losing their life because of it, just because of somebody's package. You know, if you can please do something about that. I don't know what you can, but I don't get it, you know. Like I said, I don't want somebody going home and having to tell their sons and daughters that their mom or their dad got into an accident because of a package. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone on my left? Anyone on my right? Yes, Ray.
Well, that pastor makes a good point. Well, you know, I can take the Lord everywhere I go to. I don't have to be in the church unless I go to church either way. So, I mean, it's a good thing. So anyway, I want to talk about Disability Month. And I want to thank Melissa, Rob, and the crew. They did really good on that video. How they took the back of my videos and posted it on there. I mean, you know, we came a long ways with that disability. At the time, it was concerned. I changed that name with that group. It's Accuracy now. But looking back, 19 years, and I think that's proud to be how I felt, how I changed things, and kept going back out there and saying, no, people belong. People should be treated with dignity and respect. And I got this label button on my coat, and I'm wearing this. It's important. Anyway, it's mental health. Let's talk about that for a second. Every month, not just the month of May, because I just lost a friend. And sometimes a friend can be, you don't know how happy they are, because something could be going wrong with them. So check on your loved ones too. And I keep telling everybody, let's be kind to one another, because that is a really big thing to me. I am definitely looking forward to my training and then taking this thing to the road. I met with the mayor, and we are talking about putting these signs into the parks of 988. And I'm planning to train the fire department in the month of May, Darryl. I am ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. We appreciate you. Anyone on my left? Mr. Warren. Yeah.
For all these birthday wishes and no cake. I don't understand it. Okay. To the police chief, I just need a word with you and our two community officers after the meeting. Be short. Now, in regards to the new fire station number 2 and fire station number 3, you got a digital sign over there. The one that's directly behind the city hall here has the mayor's name on it and the fire chief's name on it. But fire station 2 doesn't have the mayor's name on it, doesn't have the chief's name on it. I don't know whether you want the community to know who you are, but your name should be on both of those marquees, I believe, for the knowledge of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. And yes, Mr. Hackman.
Good evening, council. My name is Brian Hopkins. I appreciate the ability to speak to all of you tonight. My concerns are with a business that's located in the city of Westland. It's called Aurora Trailer. This business is located at 38005 Florence Street. It's in the Arbuzzi Industrial District. Aurora Trailer is classified, according to public records, as a business that is sales and service of semi-truck trailers. That's not what's going on over there. There's not sales going on 24 hours a day. 7 days a week, all hours of the night. If there is, this is a really weird sales business. Emails have been sent starting with November 17th, 2023. The intensity of this business has increased dramatically, very dramatically. Messages have been sent out to the city on 5/1/2025, 5/5/2025. Many calls have been sent in to the ordinance officers. We've sent in evidence of light intrusion, evidence of mass dust, videos of water shaking on tables inside of the house. This is definitely not sales of truck trailers. I am here to ask you, what do we do? How do we stop what's going on in our neighborhood? I can taste diesel fumes in my house. Taste it. I can smell it when I walk out my door. My windows vibrate. There's light coming in at all hours of the night. Help. Help. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else in the audience? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will close comments from the public and move on to comments from the administration. Director Adams.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. On behalf of Mayor Coleman, please be advised that our annual Terry Packer Dog Vaccination Day will be held on March 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here at City Hall. Westland residents can get their dog vaccinated for just $25 and microchipped for just $20. You can also purchase your 1- and 3-year dog license, as well as obtain your annual pass to the Westland Rotary Canine Corral Dog Park at this event as well. Dog vaccinations are free to Westland veterans who have a veteran ID, and this event is limited to the first 250 dogs. Mayor Coleman would also like to invite you to our first annual Easter egg hunt on Thursday, April 2nd from 10 a.m. to noon at the Virgil R. Gagnon J.C. Park, located at 6200 North Wayne Road. We will have an Easter egg hunt, face painting, pictures with the Easter Bunny, and much more. Registration is required and is limited to the first 150 children. So you can register at citywestland.com, or you can call us at 734-722-7620. And please note that city offices will be closed in observance of Good Friday on April 3rd. And lastly, we would like to wish everyone a happy Easter and a happy St. Patrick's Day. And as it relates to the couple open items from the residents, sir, from Wayne, I'll get your number after the meeting here and we'll look into that. Art will definitely update the digital signs, so appreciate that. And then, sir, I'll be in touch with you on the side about the Florence Street matter as well. So nothing further from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Adams. Anything this evening from the city attorney?
Just very briefly, I know that everybody here is aware that there was some bad windstorms and such like this past week. A very good friend of mine, a colleague of mine, Jim, former director of water and sewer at Van Buren Township, lost his son-in-law. It was the Huntington Woods DPW worker that was struck and killed. So just prayers requested, I suppose, for the Taylor family. As you know, a lot of times police and fire get recognition, deservedly so, for the sacrifices that they make. And of course, the DPW, DPS workers are out there sometimes putting it on the line as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Grisco. We will now begin council comments this evening with Councilwoman Sampe.
Thank you, everyone. The meeting was quite short compared to normal, so that's good news. Thank you, Ray, for bringing up the public service announcement. I know that it's been shared on our YouTube channel and running on TV, but you're absolutely right. I think mental health and disabilities awareness definitely go hand in hand. I wanted to address, and then I can kind of plug a few things that I'm working on. I wanted to address Mr. Hopkins' situation that he brought up. Council received an email on March 11th, and it significantly went into detail about what they're dealing with. So I don't know if any of my colleagues watched the Planning Commission, but there's been an outcry at the planning meetings to handle this issue. Respectfully, the Planning Commission did vote down 6-1 the recommendation, but right now they're wanting to actually increase the footprint, which is pretty scary because knowing that you have a neighborhood of individuals that have had to deal with this, now you're actually exacerbating the situation and making it worse. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I know that the proposed site plan has been denied. Hopefully it doesn't come up to City Council. It wasn't on this agenda. But I know that there's other residents who have reached out to me in addition to Mr. Hopkins speaking tonight. And I do feel like we need to have a town hall meeting, Council President, so we can hear everyone's feedback. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of questions and concerns, and I think it's only fair that as a body we hear all of the concerns and all of the issues that they're dealing with, in addition to people looking in windows, people peeing outside and exposing themselves to children. I'll work with the police chief to figure out how many occurrences and how many visits that they've gotten to that property, but it's quite scary. There's a lot of young children in that neighborhood. A lot of residents came out and spoke at the meeting, and they were actually quite scared. So I think this is a very serious matter. I don't know how it's rectified. We can meet with the administration, but I do feel like we owe them the due diligence to listen. Because I wouldn't want to live in that situation either, where I have bright lights, I have dust. I mean, one resident actually said that she cannot even host parties in her backyard because the dust is so bad that it's flying around and she can taste it in her backyard. That's no way to live. That is absolutely ridiculous that we're not fixing the situation. There has to be something done. And I'm really, really sorry that you guys are dealing with this, and those that are watching this back, and I'll be in touch with you, but it's not a good situation, and that's not what we are promoting here in Westland. Everyone should feel comfortable in their home, in their backyard, to have parties, to have people over, to not feel like people are looking in their window, and frankly, I'm not about expanding that footprint. I don't feel like it's appropriate, and I don't feel like it's an appropriate use. So thank you for speaking up, and I'll be in touch with the residents, but I think we deserve to at least hear the residents out, because I know there's many other stories. With that said, I'm going to kind of move on to the big boy and having it be tore down. I know that the former administration, they worked on a couple buildings in demolition, so that's not something that City Council is able to make a decision, but I know that Director Adams will probably bring it back to the administration, and maybe we can get an update for you.
Okay, sir, we can't have back and forth, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely talk to you afterwards, but that's definitely something that I agree with you. It's an eyesore. So just a couple quick plugs. The Westland Goodfellows and the Westland Fire Department are hosting an Easter event this weekend from 11 to 1. You can meet the Easter Bunny. We are having an Easter egg hunt, games, activity, food, and prizes. We have about 250 kids or close to, so we just ask that you register online. I will share this link on my personal council page, Melissa Sampe. It looks like the city is doing theirs on April 2nd, which is awesome. And I just want to finally plug that the autism acceptance event that I'm working with the mayor on is Saturday, April 25th. I'm sure you're going to hear about it often over the next few meetings, but it's from 3 to 6. and we invite everyone to come out for that amazing event. Just wishing everyone a beautiful Easter. I know St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Kind of forgot about that, but a beautiful and blessed Easter. And our next meeting is not until April 6th. So Monday, April 6th is our next meeting. Be safe and kind with one another, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Councilwoman. We will now hear from Councilman Sullivan, looking very festive for St. Patrick's Day.
Obviously, I want to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day and happy Easter, and that's really all I have. No other comments tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. We will now hear from Councilwoman Baumann, also looking very St. Patrick's Day festive.
Thank you. Yes, first I just want to, I want to thank Len for coming out and talking about Inspire Theater. I've been going there for now, I think, pretty consistently for 2-3 years or something like that, to see every show and to volunteer as well. And it really is, they do such an excellent job. So you're just sitting there like, wow, these guys are really good. So I encourage people, next show, get in the tickets early and, definitely get to see those. In fact, people from around, when I talk to the actors, people from around the area are wanting to be in those shows. So this is like something where, if you're an actor in another area, you're wanting to be in the Inspire Theater. So it's nice to see a lot of communities share some of the actors as well. I do want to thank all the residents that spoke about tonight, and a lot of issues that we obviously need to be addressing and taking a look at. Some obviously with administration, some that, I appreciate my colleague mentioning the town hall and having that too as well for, to know what's going on over in that area. I would also like to bring attention to some legislative bills. I am going to encourage people to reach out to your rep, your state senators, wherever you're at. If you're in Westland, we've got, depending where you're at, you've got 2 state reps, state senators. There are bill packages, House Bill 5529, through House Bill 5531, as well as House Bill 5581 through 5584. They're being billed as affordable housing bills, but they're not. What they basically are doing is to take away local control. They're asking us to put ordinances in that we would not be able to do the things that we want to do with our city. So they are what we call, they're called preemption bills. And so we want to work with our state people. We want to work with good things. We want people to be able to do what they, we want to, respect property owners' rights, our property owners, but you want to be able to do what you want on your property a little bit. So we want to respect that, but we also want to be able to have some, as a local community, we have different needs than, say, a city up north or in UP. We have different things that our community wants. So if you can please reach out to your representatives and say, do not let these pass. Do not let them come out of committee. We do not want to have a vote on them, nothing, because they are preempting our ordinances. They're going to require us to have an ordinance that would take away a lot of our abilities to do what we've been doing with our planning departments and things like that. So again, I'm going to speak on those, so that I would encourage you to reach out about those. With that, I will also say happy St. Patrick's Day for tomorrow, and happy Easter. It is wonderful to celebrate the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's a huge, huge day. It's like if it weren't for that day, none of it would have mattered. So it's important that we actually honor and remember that day and how important that is. So I'll see you all in 2 weeks. 3 weeks, sorry. That's right. First Monday in April. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Baumann. We will now hear from Councilwoman Martin, also in her festive Irish green.
Yes, I've had enough St. Patrick's Day, thank you. I went to the parade yesterday. Anyway, the water rates, I'm new to council, and the second month, they're like, oh, we're raising water rates, which is everybody's favorite thing to hear about, right? We were lucky that the communities had come out against it. But what people need to understand is that there were communities that never raised the rates when Great Lakes Water Authority was raising rates, and then later, they got 50% increases. So what this is just in line with is your own usage. And the administration has done an extremely good job of trying to keep low the water rates on the first 5,000 gallons. And for seniors who don't use a lot of water, it's really going to work out. But for all of us, we got the same break on the first 5,000 gallons. So I think they did a good job on that. Secondly, thanks, Len, for the invite for Saturday. I will see you then. Mr. Hopkins, I watched the Planning Commission also. I heard everyone, and I think I responded. I'm not sure to whom, to a group. And as Councilwoman Sampe said, if there's one put together, I'll be there, okay? And then lastly, I have an Irish blessing. May good luck be your friend in whatever you do, and may the troubles always be a stranger to you. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Martin. We will now hear from Councilwoman Rakowski.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to make some remarks in response to some of the comments that were made by our citizens. So I'll start with Norwayne, since we did have our CDBG meeting, the study session, actually, before this meeting, that presented the plan for our federal grant money that comes to support our economically depressed areas. And we've been receiving this money since roughly 1975. You know, what struck me is that the amount that the community has received hasn't changed. So we kind of always look at what's the value of a dollar. So when you were getting $1 million back in 1975 and you're getting $1 million today, that dollar doesn't quite stretch as far, you know, so we also have to be cognizant of that. But talking about the Norwayne area, you know, I'm fortunate because I get the opportunity to work in that part of the community. And on a regular basis, I get to see how so much work goes in by so many people to upkeep their own properties, especially, you know, the owner-occupied properties for sure. The pride of people who live in the homes as tenants, but kind of have to deal, well, it's St. Patrick's Day, but the shenanigans of their landlords, right, who may not care about the health of their property, be it their tenant's health or the health of the structure. You know, we also, because we know it's a historical area, we have to think about the history of the area. Norwayne was created to house workers that came to support the arsenal of democracy in the 1940s, and the people who lived in many of the dwellings, which were built by the Army Corps of Engineers as temporary dwellings, you know, really supported the cause of America and the protection of democracy and our freedoms and the liberty of people overseas. So, you know, the infrastructure that was put into place from the very get was really a temporary homestead, right? So that's why there needs to be so much repair put into it, because it wasn't a community that was built to really stand the test of time, but yet here we are, right? Over time, the first tranche of people who got to purchase those homes were veterans. And then over time, there was another release of the homes to what I will call individual investors, maybe like them or not, right? And so they've taken these semi-permanent, very much so temporary structures, and, you know, there were different grants that came through to make flat roofs, pitched roofs. That was one of the federal grants that had come through. And a lot of different investments to make those homes permanent dwellings. But the non-attractive, the underside of that is, you know, the sewer system, the water system, the pavement, even the layout of that part of our community is just so unique, right? And I think it's kind of a tip of the hat to the Army Corps of Engineers for trying to make a great, compact community to house these individuals that were working. But so since we are where we are now, we do have to realize that the infrastructure being so far behind has to catch up. So one of the projects that is going to be occurring is the repair and maintenance of the culverts, right? The culverts and the drains that have always been part of there, but have grown over. And I think it'd be wonderful if not only do we fix and repair those, but let's learn as a community and as a city about how we can utilize those and use rain gardening techniques and things like that to beautify that part of the yard, because it's never really pretty to have a ditch in front of your yard, right? But there are ways to make them attractive and help the water flow, which is something that far too many people all over our community deal with, the flooding issues, right? So I think there's like a great opportunity for Norwayne. You know, we've watched it kind of rise from, I don't want to say the ashes, because I don't think it was, completely decimated, but it's having a renaissance, right? And so there's more opportunity to continue bringing that up to the standard that I think we all would like for this very important, very small piece of American history that really is uniquely ours. So I would love to see us continue to invest in that. As everyone may have mentioned, or not really mentioned, I think with the unhomed folks living on the river, I would love to get more information about how to help clean up the sites. And, I know, as you said, most people who are unhomed may or may not want assistance, but I think we all are responsible for the health of that river, right? So if that river's flowing, then we're not flooding, because that's part of what that river's purpose is in our area. So I would love to help out, so I'll connect with you after the meeting. As far as the sales and service trailer area, I wish my car got worked on 24 hours a day, right? Like, have you ever put your car into the dealer and it's been like 3 weeks because they can't find a part? I wonder if they could start working on my car. But I'm not interested in expanding that, and I'm not interested in people who are private property owners having their properties blighted by a business. And that's not only is your property being blighted, but the health and safety of you and your property is being blighted. So I will stand behind you and beside you and do whatever we need to do to protect the livelihood of your families and the health of your families. I'm sure there's some sort of health effect too. If you're tasting diesel, that's purely not going to be a good thing for your health, right? I bet it doesn't, right? There's not a market for that. I don't think there's diesel flavored ice cream that people are running to the store to go get, so we don't want you to live like that either. You should be able to enjoy your home, and private property rights need to be the residents' property first, and then we'll worry about the commercial businesses second. Okay, so it's a lot of holidays. It's still Women's History Month. I just wanted to say hello and thank you to Sandra Barron Cicerelli, right? I think she's been a wonderful leader for our community in many respects. She's someone who's served in so many different capacities. And so when I think of the women's history, she's one of the first names that come up for me for the city of Westland. So I just want to say thank you to her for leading, a great road for other women to follow. With that, I wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day. I didn't wear my green. My blood is green. So I'll not, but, and my dad would say I should wear green, but my mom says I should wear orange, so I'm just going to wear blue. I'll wear the English color. I'll wear blue. There probably is. If not, there will be. It'll be a country song. But I wish you a happy Easter. For those of you that celebrate the Passover, I wish you a joyous Passover as well. For my students who will be watching for their extra credit, and especially my kids in first hour, Ramadan Mubarak. As well. So I wish you all joy and peace. The next time I see you, I will have ventured around the sun one more time. And with that, I hope that you joyously celebrate your holidays and have a peaceful few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rakowski. We will now hear from Pro Tem Maxwell.
Okay.
Okay, so I did get an opportunity to go meet with our state rep, Peter Hertzberg in Lansing, and he did discuss some of the agencies that his office can help constituents with, and he shared 3 bills that he sponsored, and I'll share those with you because he told me I could. It's the House Bill 5327, which is the drone bill, and the bill amends Unmanned Aircraft Systems Act to introduce new restrictions on the operation of unmanned aircraft systems in Michigan, and explicitly prohibits individuals from using unmanned aircraft systems to harass others. Additionally, it establishes that operating in a UAS within a distance that would violate a restraining order or judicial order is prohibited. Also, House Bill 5568 and House Bill 69 are both bills in a bipartisan package that would allow workers early access to their paycheck without being a payday loan. It's called the Earned Wage Access Bill Package. In addition, we discussed the possibility of collaborating on some events, but stay tuned when we start planning those. I also want to tell you that I did watch the planning meeting, and I stand in agreement if we have a town hall to support. I'm going to support that. And I did attend Westland Historical Village, had a fundraiser. Myself and Councilman Sullivan and his wife, it was at Texas Roadhouse. I'm not sure what the final results were, but it was really good to go and support Texas Roadhouse and the Westland Historical Village fundraiser, just to eat. So that was an easy fundraiser. And I also, let's see, okay, and happy St. Patrick's Day, happy Easter. And I'm looking forward to spring. It was like heavy snow out there earlier, high winds. I'm ready for spring and summer. We'll see you on April 6th. Thank you.
Thank you, Pro Tem. Okay, few things tonight. Number one, thank you to the folks at 3B's Community Garden for coming out. I've had the chance to volunteer with them in years past to help in the garden. It's a wonderful garden. It's over at Corrado Park. So if you ever have the chance, you want to volunteer with them, or you just want to go to Corrado Park and check out the lovely garden, there is always work to be done and gardens to be tended over there, but it is really nice. Bees, butterflies, birds of all kinds there in the garden. It's a real gem in our community, so thank you for what you do. Thank you, Len, for coming out and sharing all the great stuff that the Community Theater and Inspired Theater is doing here, and that you all are doing. Hopefully there is some way that we can assist in the future with some of these projects, because we know it's a valuable resource here. And I know a couple of us have talked with you in the past about that as well, so hopefully we can get something done here in the future. But thank you for coming out. Do appreciate it, and appreciate all the work that our thespians and those at the theater do. So we're very appreciative of that. It was mentioned tonight, we are working on rescheduling the visioning study session. We did originally try to have it this past weekend, but unfortunately, there were some council members and the mayor who could not make it, and we want to do it at a date and time where everybody can make it and contribute on the council and the mayor as well, so that everybody's voice can be heard. We're looking at like the May timeframe potentially to get that rescheduled. I do understand it has been a long, long, long time coming for that. It's something that I've been asking for and trying to get done for a long time. Several of my colleagues have been asking for. I know Councilwoman Bauman's been very excited about that. We are going to do it this year. We are going to make it happen. So thank you for your patience on that as we work to reschedule that visioning session. I did have the chance last week to talk with Director Mo Ayoub. He is our building and planning director, because I too watched the Planning Commission meeting and had the chance to hear feedback from the residents, but also from the planning commissioners themselves. It was universally, well, almost unanimously and universally denied. There was one planning commissioner who did vote for it, but as was said tonight, there were 6 planning commissioners who did vote it down at the planning commission meeting for the expansion of that trucking facility. So, we'll work on trying to get something done here, a town hall or some kind of discussion or forum. We'll talk with the mayor and the administration to see, what can be facilitated and what can be done ultimately, even independent of any expansion they're trying to do. I will say that obviously the Planning Commission voted that down, so I don't know if it's ever even going to come before council. But even independent of that coming up, we know that there's still another issue going on with their day-to-day operations that's causing a nuisance and a headache and a real pain in the over there for the residents who live there. So I'm sorry that that's ongoing and it's happening, and we'll see, what we can do and what kind of community forum or discussion can be had. So more to come on that. But thank you for bringing that up, Commissioner Hopkins. Do appreciate that. It was brought up by my colleague regarding Norwayne infrastructure tonight. I think all over the community, not just in Norwayne, it's happened in my neighborhood, Shannon's neighborhood, which is, really basically, we're in the same subdivision. The broader issue of flooding in neighborhoods. And I think green infrastructure is one thing that we should be investing more in this community. Whether it's investing in rain gardens or bioswales in the Norwayne ditches and culverts, or installing rain gardens and bioswales all across the community. These are things that can help as flooding preventative measures in our neighborhoods. Now, we understand that here in Westland, we are largely a community built up of older neighborhoods that were built in the late 1950s, 60s, and 70s. With modern planning standards, you oftentimes see in newer neighborhoods and condominium complexes, retention basins and ponds, drainage ponds put in to these newer neighborhoods. We don't have that luxury in many of our older neighborhoods, mine included, and probably many of yours as well. But there are things, again, like a bioswale, like a rain garden that can be installed in these neighborhoods to give water somewhere to run off. We can also look into investing in things like permeable concrete. Now, permeable concrete and pavement is quite a bit more expensive to invest in than a rain garden or a bioswale. But the point is, we need to give rain an avenue to run off in. We need to give it somewhere where it can go besides your basement and mine. And so by investing in green infrastructure, investing in bioswales, investing in rain gardens, we can give water somewhere to run off into. We have essentially created, through the expansion of the suburbs and the expansion of all of our subdivisions, concrete jungles out there. We have wiped out a lot of our green infrastructure. We've wiped out a lot of our forests and trees, and we've replaced it with your house and your lawn. And unfortunately, rain either winds up on your lawn in terms of standing water, or it winds up in your basement. So by adding green infrastructure, we can give the rain and the runoff somewhere to go to besides your home. So I brought this up for a number of years with green infrastructure. City Attorney Fasson and I have had a number of discussions over the years, because I know he's been an advocate for green infrastructure, and I want to definitely continue that conversation with our new DPS director, our new water and sewer director coming in here, and with my colleagues on council, and with all of you, because I think there is really untapped potential. Cities like Detroit and Dearborn have invested in green infrastructure, and cities all across the country, and I think it is high time that Westland can do the same thing here. And then with that, I'm going to be pretty short tonight. I want to say go blue to U of M as they enter into the tournament. So the March Madness is starting up. They unfortunately did not win the Big Ten tournament, but they're still a #1 seed. So I'm a Michigan fan, go blue. For all of you Michigan State fans out there, I do see the Sparty crest on someone's jacket. Go green, go white for all the Spartan fans, but I hope Michigan makes a run in the tournament. And no matter what you celebrate, whether it is closing out the Ramadan season, whether it is Passover or Easter, I hope you have a joyous holiday season. And with that, if you need anything from me, you can always find me on Facebook at Councilman Mike McDermott, or you can call or text me on my cell phone at 734-890-2146. And with that is our motion to adjourn.